Chris, if one man and his dog turns up, I'll be happy, but thank you very much for turning out. A lovely, going to snow later. Right, we all know there was a supporters club in the past. I don't know the ins and outs of it, it was before my time, but this is going to be run different. We've got die-hard supporters here that are wanting to take it forward, do things for the club, and I'll shut up and hand you over to Chris. Thank you very much.
Well, as Brian said, you know, we know that there was a very good effort to have a supporters club previously, and although we don't want to reinvent the wheel or whatever, I'm aware that the papers I've put out in front of you are probably very similar, if not exactly the same, as the previous supporters club constitution. That's been put together by Richard Pike, who thankfully sent it on to us and saved me a lot of work. One of the things that I put on there, which we don't have to do, but I was saying it as an independent supporters club, or proposing that as the name, largely to mark the differentiation, if that's a real word, the difference between the old supporters club and the new supporters club, just to make sure people understood it was slightly different. And perhaps to answer some of the perceived critical points that were made last time, that some people felt the supporters club was in the pocket of the directors. I don't know whether that's true or not. I'm not even bothered whether it is or not anyway, but the point being that this one, I think we'd all be agreed that we want it to run alongside the club and the directors and work with them, but it will be independent, and when it's not happy about something as a collective voice, we will say that. So that was why independent was there. There is the National Association of Independent Supporters Clubs, and having been on the wrong end of what happened at Oxford United many years ago, where Maxwell tore the club away from us, and it was basically a community club, I never want to be in that position again in football, which is why I'm quite keen that, you know, if I put my name to anything, it is independent from a club and doesn't get embroiled or become responsible for the club's problems. You know, happy to help and want to support, but want to be independent. So that was my background to it, and I'm aware that the Arsenal Independent Supporters Club sort of lead the way nationally on a lot of these things, but so do clubs that a lot of you will know, well, Harry Redknapp will certainly know, what happened at Portsmouth and the way Portsmouth is now being run by the supporters. Not saying that's going to happen here, but we need to be prepared that maybe one day, you know, we need to be able to walk in and take over, but not take over the directors' debts and the club's debts. So that was essentially my motivation. But you know, yeah. So that was why I was saying independent supporters club. Now, we don't have to do that. It doesn't fit very well on a badge. We've just been looking at the badge I've got from the last club, and we really like that badge and just want to do that again. But I think if we had it nominally in the title, in the brackets, that might be useful. So you can have a think about that, but the constitution we put in front of you, I think if people have got any questions about that, now's the time to discuss it. I think it's very straightforward. We can amend and change it. There's mechanism in there to amend and change anything that we think is either missing, needs to be taken out, and whatever. There's a process to do that and to run it properly. So that's what I would propose is the first thing that we need to discuss. And if there is general consensus that that's acceptable, then and people want to sign up to join that club, then we'll get it rolling. I know we don't want to spend too much time in here tonight. There's a band that wants to play out there, and Graham wants to get stuff into the programme so that we can get on. But has anybody got any questions about what I've said or proposed so far? That sounds good. I do have a dictatorial streak in my background. Many years I've chaired some quite complex meetings over the years, and I'm quite happy to do that role here, but I'm also aware that I don't want to just do it because I've self-nominated myself and nobody else wants to do it. If somebody else does want to do it, then please do say so and stand up, because I won't be offended at all. I've got plenty of other things in my life to keep me busy, and yeah. But anyway, so any more thoughts on that constitution? Any questions?
Yeah. Has it? Have you thought about contacting? Contacting other local supporters clubs, pool Weymouth, Dorchester, to see what their constitution is. Obviously this is a start. Obviously I've not read it through fully. It is a start.
Yeah.
And obviously you say obviously that it can be changed, which obviously is written in here that you can change as you see fit.
Yeah.
Obviously it would be helpful to know whether we can do it better, you know, whether how other supporters clubs work, how they raise money, and you know, everybody here probably doesn't know how to run a supporters club.
Yeah.
So therefore, you know, any help that can be to
Definitely.
move the thing forward must be useful.
Yeah, I've had quite a few conversations with Pippa, who's the chair of Poole Town Supporters Club, and she's, I mean, you'll have all seen her here, she's quite happy to visit here and is a good mixer with everybody, and she sent me their constitution. It's very similar to that. In fact, if anything, it's not quite as good as that, I think, in that it's perhaps it doesn't distance itself from the running of the club perhaps as clearly as that one does. But yeah, I'm in conversation with Paul. I would certainly like to follow up with Dorchester, Weymouth and any other clubs in the area that have got things going. I was put a little bit on the web, the forum last night, saying that, you know, when I was active in Oxford, we used to, the greatest days we ever had was when supporters clubs met with other supporters clubs, and we had some wonderful days out with other supporters clubs, having family competitions, family games and things like that. I know, looking around the room, there's a lot of us sort of towards this end of our age group or whatever, but one thing this club does need to do, and I don't think anybody would argue against it, is we need to attract more families and more young people. And if we can get that going, or part of it going through the supporters club, that would definitely be an aim of mine. So yeah, great point. We will be, and I am already talking to Paul, and I'm hoping to talk to, I know a couple of the Dorchester committee as well, so I'm hoping to get in touch with them. But yeah, we will want to build links with all those as well. Any other questions? Do people, as a general concept then, are they happy that we could formally state tonight, without us all actually having paid or whatever, that constitution's enough to get us going? Yeah? Yeah, okay, good, thanks. Then the second thing is about membership. We've got a few forms here, not as many as we need. We've got 20 here, but we're going to do that as well. But the other thing then is to sort of, you want to, let's just say what we want to do. I'll say what I want to do regarding chair. Yeah,
okay,
right.
what we're after is 6 committee members. Now, Chris would like to be chairman. Has anybody got any objections about Chris being chairman? No, take it, that's a no. Right, we'd like somebody to be a secretary for the supporters club. Any volunteers to be secretary?
And this is perhaps the most arduous of the jobs, to be honest. We do need somebody that's going to be happy writing notes, doing letters, keeping minutes and putting things up on the forum and the internet and things like that. It's a difficult job, but it is perhaps one of the most crucial of the jobs. And I'm happy to help somebody do that, but I know I can't do it all.
Any volunteers? Can I see a hand move then? Right, that's one for the back burner. Right, I have put myself down as treasurer. Has anybody got any objections about me being treasurer? No. Right, excellent. Right, vice chairman, Chris. What's your name? Dale, I know he is. Or Dale boy, or whatever call him, with a better word. He wants to be vice chairman. Has anybody got any objections about that? No? Right, okie dokie. The other committee, we need a committee member.
Brian's deaf, so did somebody want to say something there?
I was going to say, how long do these positions run for? Annually?
I'd say for the year,
yeah.
And as it says in the Constitution, I think it's every year we'll do it.
Yeah.
But you know, if anybody has got a great exception, enough people there's the mechanism to call it.
We've got to go with you and give it the first year.
Give it a go. But you know, I won't pretend I'm perfect.
You're my mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
We're also after 2 committee members. Who would like to be a committee member?
I will.
Great.
Are you no longer a director?
No, I'm no longer.
You can join us then. Did you put your hand up for secretary,
So what
Bob?
no, I didn't. Good in a skirt.
Yeah.
If I was a director, would I have to resign then?
Any other person in this room?
It's an important
Dave,
point.
enough.
Dave.
Lovely, thank you, Dave.
I mean, we did, Brian and I did discuss if people who were on the board of directors of the club were wanting to be on the board of the supporters club. We didn't generally feel it would be appropriate because there might be a sort of, what they call it? Conflict of interest. But, you know, again, we can address that if that is a problem. And we know, you know, everybody's wants to pull the same direction anyway, so yeah, is that...
Okay, there's a few things I've arranged with the old board of directors. Now I'm going to have to approach the new board of directors. Just a few things to start off with, which was agreed. If you remember the supporters club, you get £2 off your coach travelling fee, but that doesn't include vice club, president's members club, vice club members. A free cup of tea or coffee, hot drink, once a month at home games. 10% off in the club shop.
I think we can stretch to that.
Thank you, Paula.
There was also, I don't know whether you were aware of this, but there was a discussion previously about the supporters club running the club shop.
Yeah.
And
It was.
I don't know whether we probably need to
I
revisit that.
think, Chris, when we spoke last time, it was probably better that you took over the running of it, subject to Paula okaying it now. But at least then you got control on it.
Yeah.
Stop
And
and everything else.
club shop round the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm more than happy for you to
Makes
just do
sense.
what you think is the right thing to do.
Okay, right.
we're working on it then.
Gabriel is a very powerful young man who deserves a lot of support. The social worker hat's coming on. I think he wanted to come tonight. I don't know why he couldn't.
Oh, let's say, I'm surprised not to see him.
probably.
Yeah. There were a few other people who were quite keen to come tonight who couldn't come, who emailed me. So we'll give them the option of.
So you live in the club shop around there by the beef room, are you?
That's what.
Chris, if you speak
There
to
is that,
Ryan,
yeah.
I was going to say, you
Yeah.
I'm not agreement there with you.
No.
If you just outside the entrance, in the alcove, outside the ground, build it in there.
What, just down by the bottom of the ramp?
Do you know where Father
Yeah, in that alcove, build it in there, so it's outside.
You can't put it in the back.
I think it's true to say that you don't want things smelling of beef burgers and onions.
You can't put it in the back, there's not much
And
fence
then,
inside.
yeah.
And also, that place gets used a lot for functions.
It does, but it's that's tough it off.
Do we have a builder in the room with a spare few sheets of felt to go on the roof? Hey, that's one question.
I'm sure that I can arrange this.
That's what
Welcome back to Wimborne
So, right, in terms of signing up, yeah, sorry.
Just one other thing, if we're going to do that in the club shop, right, we've got no stock, have we? So,
we'd have to negotiate with the new board of directors how much.
well, no, how about this even better? We've got the 100 Club, haven't we?
Yeah.
So the 100 Club can put a amount of money into the stock because it's still doing something to the football club, isn't it? And we've got a certain amount of money. So if you were to buy £400 worth of stock, the 100 Club can put the £400 in, do that. So then you get a new club shop, fully stocked. Then all the next question probably is who's going to run it for you?
Steve, can I just ask, barter cards, can we use any of that towards anything?
We can do. We've got around £1,000 barter card. The problem with Bartercard is you're restricted into who makes the scarves and the bits and pieces. And the comments we're getting back at the moment is the scarves that we got aren't that brilliant, they're just flimsy and that. There is an opportunity to use some of the Bartercard. By all means, I'll ping in the email of the guy and you can, we're streamlined to what they want us to use. And they have this thing about if we buy scarves or bits and pieces, the Bartercard pays for the garment, but we have to pay cash for the logo.
Oh, right.
In my experience, the logo is just as much as the thing.
Yeah.
So if you want, please not here, but David, you're okay.
I don't agree with you.
You don't agree?
I mean, why do we need stock anyway? Why can't we just actually have a brochure? You've got dead stock, which I don't know what your situation is about the stock. I mean, whether that stock is dead or not. You just have a brochure, and then people just buy as they go. Because that way we're not going to people will buy, and that's fine.
Okay, well, look, that's perhaps a debate that needs to be had a bit further along the line, yeah?
Can I just say, I mean, we could talk a whole evening on this. Perhaps it may be something to look at in terms of what we sell and the types of things that we sell as well.
I think that's a good idea.
As a whole thing, because there's stuff there that is probably not relevant anymore, and there may be ideas that could be relevant. I mean, that thing's been going on the forum, like Rattle's not but the point is, I think it could be reviewed and then, and then maybe, presented in a new way, whether it's online or whatever. But I think it's something that needs to be.
I do think there needs to be a physical presence of items, because you do get, for example, and again it needs to be looked into, but my son, for example, came with his friends one day and they all wanted a scarf, because it was a physical thing they could see and they wanted it there and then. So I think it's a discussion that needs to happen another time.
I think it is. The opposite is quite difficult now to have huge discussion. But is there anything else anybody wants to say particularly?
What's the proposed fee for the sports?
Sorry?
Proposed fee to join us?
Right, Treasurer here has got a proposal.
It will be £10 per year for adults. Under 18s and over 65s, it will be £5 a year. I'd like to charge the over 65s more, because I knew there'd be more in the room. So who would like to join? Cash or cheque only at the moment, because we don't want to take credit cards.
All five of us there.
Right, you will get a membership card. We've got other few things in the pipeline. We're going to hold once a month meetings for the supporters club throughout the football season, and one probably July or something like June, July, to get everything back together, a few pints behind the bar again. Right, I've got a few forms here. If you'd like to come and collect a form and fill it out.
And we propose membership to run, just to keep it simple at the moment, membership to run from January to January. And we'll look at, if people join halfway through the year, we'll look at how much they pay.
And if you could provide your own pen.
Still going?
get some more printed up for Saturday, so if you want to do it again Saturday, we'll do that. And hopefully by Saturday we'll have some other things ready to write up and some decisions made about when we're going to have the next meeting and how we can start contributing. Sorry, you had another question, didn't you?
Yeah, what is going to happen about the 100 Club or the 80 Club or whatever you call it? I mean, it would be sensible, I would have thought, the 100 Club is actually controlled by
well, other clubs,
yeah, because you've got whatever money you've got there, and that is 50-50 or whatever, okay? 50% diversity in prizes, 50% goes to the club. But obviously, if the supporters club,
can we have one at the moment? Sorry everyone, it's hard to hear.
They ought to control that money rather than the way it is at the moment. I mean, Steve did a tremendous job to put that together. You know, and that's fair enough. Obviously, I have been to a small extent. You know, but because of the way that the football club's going, trying to encourage anybody to join this club is worse than useless. Because we were obviously now talking about much more joy. And I think it should be out of the auspices
of the football club, not the supporters club.
And the supporters club, sorry.
Okay.
Rather than where it is now, because there was nowhere to go.
Yeah, I think those things are things that we need to discuss as we get this formed and rolling. And obviously with a new board, we'd want to have a discussion with them fairly soon about what is it we can do and what is it you want to keep hold of. So if things like, I know the 100 Club is run by the Supporters Club in Poole and they do other fundraising initiatives there as well. So we can have a conversation with the people that are currently managing it and see how it goes. But I think all these things are up for grabs, aren't they, really? That's, yeah. And, we don't want to...
Are you going to have a Supporters Club member on the board?
No, I don't think so. We haven't had a chance to discuss this with Paula yet. I don't know.
Do you not think that you ought to have, you are running a supporters club, you are raising money for the club?
Yeah. The channels of communication with the board need to be discussed and agreed on. And at the moment, because that's the first time I've seen Paula as chair, we need to actually have that discussion with the current board. If the old board had been still in place, we'd have had that same discussion with them. But yeah. Did you get that?
The chairperson, whatever I am, but wasn't really busy, I'm sorry. I was filling in many of the form, so sorry to
Don't worry, it's just about whether we need to establish some formal rules of communication. And one of the things that the suggestion should be on the board.
Do you know what? I didn't know that's what you said, but actually I think so. Yeah, that's something I want to talk to the other directors about because I feel, and I know that let's do it, that it's something we should do.
Paula is actually answering that now, and I know it's really hard for everybody to hear, but Paula's quite keen to explore the idea of having one of the committee or one of the supporters on the board.
I actually think it's quite essential to do that because one of the things that we want to promote and perhaps put right for the future is to hear the voice of the supporter, not just at match days or on a forum, but actually have them within the board at a board meeting. I'm not saying that they would be able to stay for the whole of the meeting, but I think it's very important to know what the supporters are doing, what the club is doing. So my proposal to the board would be to allow that to happen.
I think that should be for one year, serve for 1 year only. That position should be changed.
Someone needs to elect the person that represents the supporters club on the board.
Yeah.
That has to be done.
So that would be something the supporters club, if they formalise that as an arrangement, the supporters club, we can get together at a supporters club meeting and say who wants to be the supporters club rep on the board. Yeah. And what I would also suggest is that we'd need to clarify what the financial responsibility of that would be. If because
what I'm saying to you is, I'm not expecting the supporters club rep to know all the goings and doings and whatever. But what I'm saying is, it should be a voice from the club to the directors. Just to tell them what
It's just been agreed.
Yeah.
it must be a springboard, mustn't it?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
I think that's just been agreed.
that's what's been agreed.
Yeah, sorry everybody, it's a bit difficult to outdo Jolene and I'm not going to try But just for clarity, it's very difficult position for Chris and everyone here tonight because this only happened in my announcement was yesterday, that he's not had a chance to speak to me. I don't even know that he was going to be here tonight. But I think to move the club forward how we want to move it forward, to have a voice heard on the board from the supporters trust or whatever the name of it is essential. So I do need to speak to the rest of the board, but my motion would be to pass it somebody that would be elected from within the supporters club is elected to come onto the board, and otherwise how can you know what's going on unless it's just talking to people on match day or reading things on a forum. So she's finished.
And to represent the club, represent all the members of the supporters
absolutely,
club.
it's essential. So yes,
I think actually, Paula, thank you, and Chris, I think you don't need to say any more than that. I think the intention's there, I've been listening to and heard, and I think with the supporters club, we need to come up with a person, if you're agreeable with that, and then let's move it forward. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I think that answers David's queries and everything. So thank you very much.
Could I put someone forward, please? Michelle, she would.
Yeah, we need to do it at a club meeting, maybe. Yeah, when we exactly know what they want and what they're saying, and then we'll have a meeting and we'll say me, and we'll have a say. We'll see who from amongst us we'd all like to do it. Really.
The intention again, I think this was probably mentioned in the club statement, is that I would be putting forward a fans forum as soon as possible. That is the intention, that will happen. So I haven't got the date on me right now, but certainly during next week I would hope to be able to put that together so we can have a chat about it. These things can be covered off then. So if people are wanting to join the fans forum on the date that I've yet to disclose, think about these things, think about these questions, think about suggestions, ideas, initiatives, and let's discuss them at that point, I think. Yeah. But I mean, having said that, don't not discuss them with me in the bar afterwards or via an email or because I'm open to listening to everybody.
Great, thanks.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry to be formal, but surely we should, to put this in line, there are 3 gentlemen so far who have taken up positions, i.e. yourself, the Vice Chairman and the Treasurer. You've not got any committee members at the moment.
Well, two more people.
All right, the 2 committee. Surely we should formally propose them and second them here today to make it all
you're right.
on the level, because at the moment we're all wandering on, going nowhere.
Okay. Well, the board for the supporters club has been suggested. Would people like to propose? Anybody would like to propose those people that were suggested? So it was us 3 here, David and Chris. No, Tony. Yeah, sorry. Tony and Dave there. And,
I'll propose it.
Thank you very much.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Okay, lovely. Any votes for? Yeah, lovely. Anybody against? Fair enough. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. In terms of procedure, that is correct. But so that's sort of formally sanctioned it. Good. Now, is there anything else that anybody particularly wants? I mean, what we need to do is go away and do a bit of admin here, get a first committee of this bit going and start talking to Paula, and then hopefully by Saturday we might have a few answers about where we're going to go. I know in terms of social activities and things like that, if somebody wanted to sort of say they'd like to sort of take a lead in that, I know that would be welcome. Melvin and I have already had a discussion that one of the things we could perhaps do is everybody bring in their vinyl, and we have an evening of, this was the first record I ever bought, put that on, see what that was like. Mine was Mr. Custer by Charlie Drake. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Well, we need to do things that make us all laugh and have a good time, and hopefully sort of bond as a group and have a good time. You've got a jukebox? I've got a jukebox. Wow.
Do you want to hear Long-Haired Lover from Liverpool? Because that was mine.
Good. Melvin, what was your first 7-inch?
The snake in Northern Soul.
Oh yeah. So a snake came into it then.
That snake goes along with the 7 inch. Was it a snake bite?
Excuse me, Chris.
Just a minute.
Unfortunately, Chris's machine broke printing these out, so we haven't got many, but we'll get them for Saturday and they'll be on the bar.
Yeah. And if you can give them in to Brian. Yeah. No, just a minute. Him first.
Earlier on, someone brought up about the raffle. You start a raffle, I think it would go the same as the last one. It finished up with a damp squid.
Okay.
And that was a meat draw. It finished up with a damp squid.
Oh yeah, that's right. So yeah, I mean, I think the 50-50 works well, doesn't it?
Does work very well.
Yeah. So we won't want to change that. And sorry.
It's a good salesman as well.
Right, if you get hold of Mark, who runs the website, get a PDF put up so you can download it, and then you get more members on that.
Okay.
I think we all know there's lots of people who can make it tonight and will enjoy.
Yeah. Is it possible to get a physical sort of pigeonhole here that the club could?
Mark was going to come tonight, but his girlfriend or partner was away, so he couldn't do it.
Yeah,
so I'll email Brian tomorrow, and I'll copy you in, and I'll copy Mark in, and you tell him what you want, and the block will come. You know where the 100 Club one comes up?
Yeah.
The next one will be Supporters Club.
Great, thank you.
Okay, Chris would just like to mention something we've got already forthcoming.
Right guys, I've just been thinking, we only see each other at match days, don't we? We just see each other before game and after game. What I've been proposing to have an evening up on a Saturday night where we can all come up, have a few beers, have a bit of music, we can just mingle, get to know each other better, and just get to know each other better as a supporters club and as a football club. So in the forthcoming weeks I'll be proposing a date and time and where we go from there. So if you're all up for that, I can propose that to go forward. I can supply the DJ and...
No, you don't need to supply any
No, we want to see that.
Hang on a minute. Hang on, the only reason I'm doing this is because Melvin and I want a DJ here all the time.
Anyway, it's just...
We don't want Charlie Drake playing all night.
No, or the snake.
Anyway, it's just something where we can all meet up as an evening, have a few drinks, get to know each other. We only see each other at match days. There's no other time where we can meet, get to know each other better, talk about football.
Sounds like you're the social secretary then.
Well, it's just an idea where we can just help each other out better, get a few money behind the bar, and just get any ideas and just chat about football.
Graham.
The only problem you've got at the moment is most Saturday nights are booked out.
I've already looked at that.
Yeah, so you're probably better off on a Friday night, which will be a godsend.
I've actually been talking about April time.
Right.
I may be jumping the gun here, so do stop me. Under Objective 2A, to donate funds to Wimborne Town FC, will the supporters club suggest things and say, we've got £1,000, we'd like you to spend it on this, or we would like to spend it on this, or do the directors come to the supporters club and say, I gather you've got £1,000 in the in your funds, we'd like to pay it and take it.
What would happen there, would have a committee meeting, would send out on social media, email or whatever we can, we'd have to put it to the vote. We live in a democracy, everything goes to the vote.
Now, I didn't know if, the directors could see this money and they'd say, we could do with that, pay the electric.
Without going on what happened last time, and I don't know the real ins and outs of it, but we don't want to get into a position where anybody thinks that there's nothing above board and it isn't as straightforward, so that all things will be as clear as we possibly can be. I myself wouldn't want to say that the money that the supporters club raise goes automatically anywhere that the supporters club doesn't want it to go to. So it would be the membership voting on where money goes.
Can I just say, the thing that I fear about that is that you nearly get bogged down in bureaucracy and paperwork and all that. I mean, the whole point of actually having a supporters club is that we are the representatives of the group, and therefore we should be able to be empowered, if you like, to and decide whether we don't give the money to the club or the club says, can we have that? That's the whole thing. I think if we spend so much time going and voting for every Tom, Dick and Harry and all that, you know, we'll never get anywhere fast. So I think, well, you know, there needs to be an element of trust in it. I mean, this is a thing that Chris, and I first of all, I'd like to thank Chris actually for starting this whole process up, because, you know, without that,
Cider.
Yeah.
Don't forget, he's got to get his head out that door in a minute.
But let's be realistic about this. You know, if we want to progress, and with Paula and the newborn, you know, they need to have space, they need to have time, and we also, you know, don't want to be bogged down to have to be saying, can we do this or can we do that? We've got to trust the people that we voted in and the board in. If not, you're going to be going around in a big, big circle.
I think the way this was promoted was, sorry.
There was not a question of integrity or trust, it was just a question of who's got first call on the money.
Yeah, I understand.
You know, are we raising it and the directors say, oh, we can do that now.
No, this is an independent supporters, so...
Can we not actually be more specific in this constitution and say, look, as the 100 Club does at the moment, okay, it is for it's not for the players to pay the players, if you like. It is for outside, you know, obviously the 100 Club, through Steve, has done certain things, okay? And obviously I think it should be like for the infrastructure, if you like, which might be, you know, obviously you know what was done before, it could have been the speakers. Well, you tell me what was done before. You know, I think it should be not for the player, not to pay the players. It should be the infrastructure. Perhaps that should be actually in the constitution.
As value to football.
You know, rather than the club coming, you know, can we give it to us or not?
I think it's a great idea. I know Poole Town Supporters Club do pay a lot towards the they paid a lot towards ground improvements to get them through the grading, and I know that's
one of that.
And I think that's been very helpful for them. And I know also that they have at times when it was needed, they've chipped in to cover a loan signing players' wages, and that. If the supporters club are happy with it, that sounds appropriate to me. But I mean, these things, I think we can debate them later. I think they're, you know, really good and genuine concerns that we do need to be very clear about. Otherwise, you know, I don't want anybody feeling that anything's happening underhand, so to speak. So we want to make sure that those fears and worries are addressed properly.
As you said, it's an independent club, and it's got to be by consensus and committee agreement on where it's spent, and that might be the decision to pay towards a player or their wages. You know, we may have been able to keep certain players that we didn't want to see leave recently if we'd been able to afford their wages due to the fact that the club couldn't sustain the wage bill. So I do think potentially we can't put it in there that we're not going to do that, because we might change our mind at some point, and as long as everyone in the supporters club is in agreement, you've got consensus within that club, it shouldn't matter what it goes on. Yeah, very good suggestion.
Good. Is there anything else anybody wants to ask?
Did Michelle just say she wanted to be secretary?
She did sound like she wanted to be. She did sound like she wanted to be didn't she? Yeah. I think it would be great, because one of the things is, obviously, Michelle, it's all blokes so far.
Yes.
I think Patricia's going to help that.
No.
So it'd be great if you would, Michelle. So have a think.
My secretary.
Good. Is there anything else anybody wants to ask? Say, if you'll entrust the committee, as we've said, we'll go away and start trying to do stuff and get news out to you as soon as we can about it. And we'll get some membership forms for Saturday. And Brian and myself will both be here, as I'm sure Chris will, and that we'll take the money off you then as well if we can. But Graham, have you got enough to make the story? Yeah, it's got enough to go with. Yeah? Where is he? Is he gone?
He's in.
Oh, there he is. Yeah. Is there anything else you need from us
Is it past your bedtime, Graham?
Is there anything else you need for the programme about this? No. Okay. Well, if that's all right, if everybody's had their say in that, thank you very much for coming tonight. It's really feel quite energised by this myself.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for your support.
So well done. So, round of applause for everyone.
Can I say one thing before you go? On February the 12th, we've got a Valentine's dinner dance here. It's £35 a head, there's 3-course meal, and we've got a Rat Pack singer, and there'll be 6 tables. There'll be 10 on the table, but you can come as a couple. We sold 30 tickets.